Hey guys, I just wanted to reach out and talk about life for a second. You see this little plant that I'm focused on? This plant has decided to just grow on my windowsill. As you can see, right in there, it's just growing. I put some seeds out there just to feed the birds, really. Um, They were my bird seeds. We got a cat, and then the cat did something to the bird, agitated him so much that he hurt himself inside his cage and then he died. That was last year. But I look at this little plant and I think about the game of life. And the reason why I think about the game of life is because I was on the plane the other day and I was playing this game called Cash Flow. Yeah. I call it rat race or whatever, but it's called cash flow. And the moral of the game is to get out of the rat race. This is my backyard. I know I come to you guys with lots and lots of videos of beautiful sceneries and things like that, but this is where I live. That is not my vehicle. My backyard is down there. You see there's a fence. This is our backyard. We don't really have a backyard, but this is my windowsill, and I actually have life growing out on my windowsill because I threw some seeds out for the birds that were from my bird that died based on my cat and what he did. But we'll maybe focus on the sky for a while. Let's just see what kind of view we can get. But the game of life, I was on the plane and I was playing this game called Cash Flow, and the guy next to me, we had been silent for many hours and we got stalled and yada yada yada, and then he finally asked me, like, what's the game you're playing? He was like, is that the game of life? And I was like, no, it's a game called Cash Flow. And he was he didn't, it didn't matter. To him, the words cash flow didn't even mean anything. But that game, Cash Flow, helps you to understand assets, liabilities, and you know, just things about life in reference to the money that we make and what we're doing over time. I have no real things to show you. I can show you an iron. That's the iron. Like, I don't know. I just feel inspired to talk about the game of life. The game of life is not really about buying things. It was like, it's really about getting out of the rat race. And that's why when he asked me about the game of life, and I was like, no, it's so far beyond the cycles of life. It's more about getting out of the rat race. So if you've ever watched any of my other videos, and you probably haven't, and at one point, some people will, and they'll see like why I've been posting videos the way I have. I mean, my dirty seal here, which I could clean in half a second. I could squirt some solution right on it. Like, my life is not about like staying clean. And that's funny. It'll be funny as you learn about me and you find out about my life. Like, I could just do that so quickly. You see the clean bubbles and everything goes away, and this is like that, and I could clean that away really, really quickly. But these are such mundane things in life. I think we get caught up on the mundane things, and I'm on a journey to get out of the rat race. And when the guy that watched me play the game of Cash Flow, and he asked me if it was the game of life, it was just like, no, this is the total opposite. Life is all about being in the rat race. Okay? The game that I was playing was Cash Flow. The game was all about cash that was flowing. Okay? Courtesy of Robert Kiyosaki, Kim Kiyosaki, the whole Rich Dad team. Look, I could just clean that in a half a second. That's not what I'm all about. I'm not really concerned. And yeah, I could clean the windowsill too in half a second. It's not a big deal. But life is about flowing cash and really getting out of the rat race. So as I look at this little piece of plant that's growing on my windowsill, And I'm not even concerned about that because there are other things that are usually over there, but I feed the birds. I have a cat. I have a lot of things going on in my life. And so I don't just clean it with chemicals or whatever because I try to keep it organic and clean, but I could just do whatever. Okay, but this is the view out of my backyard, and very soon you guys are gonna see the difference in my life based on cash flow and based on getting out of the rat race. So this is just one of those updates. I've showed you guys so many other videos prior. You can refer back to those videos. But this is where I look every morning when I'm having my coffee, and there are cats and raccoons back here, and none of these cars are my cars. I don't currently drive anymore. But this plant that's growing out here on my windowsill, it just inspired me to just talk about life. Because I have life just growing right there, and how simple it is to live the life that you want to live. So anyway, this will be a continued thing. I'll revisit it, and then I'll have more thoughts on the subject. But just this plant that can thrive right here, imagine where you could thrive if this plant can thrive right here out of just trying to feed birds and give God's animals sustenance. Imagine if you decided to give God's animals sustenance. What could you grow? Okay, so if you've got a business and your business has failed, maybe you want to think in a direction of growing God's goodness, and then you'll see where growth can take place within yourself. Love you. I'm nobody. Goodbye. Have a good day, guys.